What's going on, guys? Bengal again here, coming back at you with another video back on Jags franchise. This is the off-season stream and a lot of things to go over at the start, so please bear with me and actually listen because these things are super important for the rest of the series. First thing is Season 3 should be harder than ever. Gameplay sliders have been adjusted even more. Not in my favor. QB accuracy has been turned up, and you have to look at these attributes for the sliders not as the true number, because when you have pass blocking at 50, you don't get any pressure at all. You get no natural pressure. But if you have pass blocking on like 25, some guys are maybe getting in there a little bit too often. So I'm turning it up to 30. I think that's going to be good, and we'll see where that goes. QB accuracy has been turned up. Hopefully they take more shots now. Their tackling, I believe, has been turned up. Our tackling has been turned down. Our pass coverage is turned down. Interceptions was the big one we turned down. Pass blocking was turned down. Run blocking is turned down. These are the sliders for Season 3. If there will be updates, I will tell you in the videos. So you got to watch the videos to find out and see. Otherwise, I don't know what to do. Because people are like, oh, what are your sliders? I show in the video like almost every episode. And when I do change them, they are shown. But this is the offseason. Hit that subscribe button if you are new. I assume a lot of you guys are going to be watching this. Very eventful offseason last time. But to start off this episode, we are going over some housekeeping things, which is like league stats. Had some questions when we made the playoffs. Oh, why didn't you show the season stats? Because I always do that in the off season. And the biggest thing that I've seen in the comment section on Twitch, I'm streaming this. I stream every off season, twitch.tv/Bengal. The biggest thing I've seen in both the Twitch chat, the comment section, the community tab on Twitter, link in the description, twitter.com/Bengal YouTube. Just hit 25K followers. That's pretty nice. Talk football in there all the time. But the biggest thing I've seen is that we have some guys that are keep Minshew, Minshew Mania, keep Minshew, he's Superstar X Factor. And we have another group that hates Minshew and wants Minshew gone. And that might be a bigger group. So it's going to be an interesting offseason. Let's see the stats. I threw a lot of picks with Minshew. Don't get me wrong, 26 of them. But also, he threw 42 touchdown passes. We were just super aggressive through the air, 5,200 yards. Really, really solid season, even with the interceptions. And then for rushing, it was like, oh man, you never give the ball to Aaron Jones. He never gets any touches. Aaron Jones missed a couple games. Aaron Jones did not play every game. Can't actually see his games played, which is frustrating. But he missed, what, probably 3-4 games in there. Still had 248 attempts for almost 1,200 yards, averaged 4.8 per carry, had 14 touchdowns. We use him. We do. Also, if you see subscriptions in there, I do appreciate you. But Darian, so if you see that in the video that's just going on, Twitch subs, thank you guys, though. And then there's another narrative that all we do is throw the ball to Dennis Peoples. And it's, yeah, he became our biggest weapon. For sure. I understand that. It got a little bit boring, maybe. But think about if this were real life. You're going to ask a team not to throw to their best player when he's constantly getting open and constantly making plays. It's tough to ask that. You're not going to say, hey, Packers, stop throwing to Devontae Adams. Hey, Cardinals, stop throwing to DeAndre Hopkins. Saints, stop throwing to Michael Thomas. It could go on and on with all these top receivers in the league. Dennis Peoples is one of the best receivers in the league already. At just 24 years old, he's Superstar X Factor, 93 speed, 97 medium route running, 98 catching. He's really, really good. So it's tempting to throw him the ball clearly, but other guys got involved. DJ Chark had over 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. DeMarcus Holmes had 91 catches for over 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns. And yeah, Dennis Peoples did have the second most yards in a season all time in his rookie year. Shattered the rookie receiving yards record and also had 18 touchdowns. Was crazy good. But when you have great players, you got to get them involved. D.D. Westbrook even had over 650 yards. And that's a big thing is people want him gone for Laviska Shenault. Maybe we'll figure something out in this offseason video. A.J. Khan allowed the most sacks with 9. And then defensively, Myles Jack had the best season of all time. Interceptions are being turned down quite a bit. Way too many. I agree. Way too many. 12 for Myles Jack, 4 for Joe Schobert, 2 for Ronnie Harrison, 10 for C.J. Henderson is too many. Too many. So interceptions has been turned down. We're going to get to more deflections now. 5 for Quandre Sims as a rookie, 2 for Sidney Jones. And they both came late in the season, and he had even more in the playoffs. And then 1 for Marcus Williams, who was disappointing. Sacks, Josh Allen had 12.5, 10 for Chad Brown, 8.5 for Taven Bryan. I don't think these sack numbers are actually crazy. K'Lavon Chaisson only had 4.5. 4 for Solomon Thomas, 3 for Joe Schobert, 2.5 for Quandre Sims, half a sack for Jared Wilson. Maybe offensive line pass blocking for the CPU doesn't really even have to go up. Seems like we got pretty decent numbers there. Tackles for loss, 17 from Schobert, 15 Miles Jack. Chason had 9, and a lot of tackles all over the place. That had to do with longer quarters that were turned down eventually. 155 for Miles Jack for tackles, 140 for Joe Schobert, and Ronnie Harrison had over 100 as well with 107. Forced fumbles, I didn't think we had like a super crazy number. It is certainly a decent bit, but I don't think it's anything that crazy. And then a lot of defensive touchdowns per usual. CJ Henderson had 6 interceptions turned to touchdowns because he had no fumble recoveries. 6 pick sixes. 3 for Miles Jack, 2 for Quandre Sims, 1 for Joe Schobert, 1 for Sidney Jones, 1 for Daniel Thomas, who was interesting. But it was an interesting year. Josh Lambo, 98% extra point percentage. I did miss one. And he was pretty good taking field goals. 27 of 27, long of 57. So great stuff from Josh Lambo. And then punting, Logan Cook averaged a net of 46.4 yards per punt. Or 41.3 net yards per punt, 9 inside the 24 touchbacks. Not too bad on 30 punts. Not too bad. And then as a kick returner, Dennis Peoples was our main guy. Michael Walker had 1 return. Who? And then punt return, Dennis Peoples housed one in the playoffs, which was insane. Didn't in the regular season, though. So if you check NFL records, Peoples will be near the top in season. Gardner Minshew, 3rd most passing yards all time in a season. And then passing touchdowns, he actually did not crack the list. And then for receiving yards, Peoples is at number 2. And receiving touchdowns, Peoples is at number 5. So yeah, I get it, but Peoples is a beast. We got to get him involved. However, it is time for the actual offseason to start, and we start with re-signing our free agents. Jared Wilson, do we want to bring him back? I don't think so. He comes in occasionally. He's actually not too bad for us. How much money do we have? 30 mil? Jared Wilson, decent speed, decent coverage, decent tackling. He's decent everything. He's not even too expensive. I say we bring Jared Wilson back. Faf, appreciate the 1,000 bits, dude. And thank you for the sub, Matt Metzgar. I say we sign him to a 3-year deal. It's not worth a ton of money. Bring the signing bonus up to $1 million. 7.35 over 3. Very reasonable deal for a solid special teams player and a backup who will come in certain packages. Jared Wilson returns. Tyler Eifert. He came in occasionally. He was all right. I almost think we're better off drafting a tight end or maybe even trying to re-sign him in free agency if we want to. He's not incredible. It's not like he's that great of a run blocker. AJ Khan needs to go. We need to upgrade. Logan Cook, I'm fine to let go. Andrew Wingard, while he's been okay in real life, is he our best option to bring back? A little bit too expensive for me, honestly, just for his type of play. So I think we're going to pass on him. And so the only free agent we're going to re-sign from our own team is going to be Jared Wilson. Nick, appreciate the resub. But we're headed to free agency. We have 30 mil to bring in a difference maker. And there certainly are some difference makers here. Jason Kelsey, if we wanted to upgrade on the interior of our offensive line. Von Miller would be a big addition. Leighton Vander Esch, don't exactly need him. Orlando Brown Jr. here would certainly be an upgrade over Jamar Taylor. Philip Lindsay, Michael Gallup, Mike Williams. No one even wants a lot of these guys. Sony Michel, Patrick Ricard, but we have Bronson Rexsteiner, no way. OJ Howard would be our new starting tight end, but Colin Johnson could get some reps instead of having Tyler Eifert. Certainly some good players in here. What do we want to do? Well, let's go ahead and take a look at our team, and we can really notice where these weak points are. Wheel Easy back for 15 months, man. Thank you so much. So Ben Barch cannot start at right guard. We really need help on the offensive line. But where's that going to be? How do I like Jawan Taylor moving to guard? He actually fits kind of well. He would be a decent offensive guard. So I'm considering Orlando Brown Jr. for sure. I'm not even sure we need another tight end, if I'm honest. We have a running back. It's really, I don't even know. it's really defensive line. If we want to upgrade over Solomon Thomas. This is an interesting spot. It's the line on both sides of the ball. I think we're going to offer on Orlando Brown Jr. I feel like he's too good to pass up. He's young. He's talented. 5-year deal worth almost $70 million. I think that's a decent contract for him. I think it's actually extremely reasonable. You look on the defense side of the ball. Nothing in here is particularly catching my eye at all. BJ Hill's okay. Marcus Davenport's okay. Von Miller's obviously a stud, but I just don't think he fits for us right now. Uchenna Nwosu would be a good player to get. And then we could move Kaylavon Chase on down. But he plays well in space, so no. I think the only one that really makes sense for us is Orlando Brown Jr. So I'm comfortable with what we've done. Really what it comes down to now is just securing our punter for the future. And I'm looking for kick power. 89 for Matt Botcher. No, Pat O'Donnell's going to have a boot on him probably. 91. Sam Cook's 40. Has 87. Is Logan Cook our best option? 92. Corey Bojorquez, 95. Here's Jared Brackens. Random rookie is 90. Locke Edwards. Let's offer Corey Bojorquez a contract. That 95 kick power could be very, very good. And, you know, best punter on YouTube, I got to have a player that helps showcase that. And Bojorquez could be that guy. Could be that guy. And we'll see what happens here in free agency, too. As Orlando Brown Jr. rejects. You're making a mistake. You're making a mistake. Where did he end up signing? Seattle. Brian O'Neill's on as well. So, that brings up an interesting option here. That brings up an interesting option because Jason Kelsey's 34, but would be very, very good for right now. And we could move Brandon Linder over. So maybe we just go to solidify the interior of the offensive line, offer a big one-year contract, and try to bring in Jason Kelsey. We will scout players in the meantime, however. And it's an interesting group. I know a lot of guys that want to see Brandon Swartzen playing in Jacksonville as he goes south from South Carolina potentially. Could be a potential Minshew replacement if we were to go that direction. Eric Perkins, another interesting option. Not particularly fast, as we do see combine scores now. I didn't look at running back at all. Didn't look at receiver at all. Some interesting tight ends. Josh Keaton's really the only one we know about. And he wouldn't be a bad backup. Could go offensive line at some point. Darryl Dawson looks okay. Marcus Cole looks okay. There's a small dog outside. Shut up! Excuse me. David Anthony looks all right. Adrian Fox. There's just no real awesome offensive line prospect to bring in. Evan Groves. This is one of the better players we saw in the class. He looked to be quite good. Dylan McDaniels, we know, is going to be good. We're in an interesting situation. Miles Madison was another guy we watched for a while. Late first-round guy, but this is someone who ran 4.49. Super agile. It's someone we need to keep an eye on. For sure. Some really good cornerbacks we could add in. Like, these are all really solid players. They're all early first-round guys. Tyrone Hicks, another great potential pickup for us. So there really are some fantastic players in this class. So what direction do we want to go? I think I'm going to turn on auto scouting at this point. I've scouted pretty much all that I want to. So auto scouting is now on. And we will simulate 1 week and see how many of our contracts were accepted. And the answer is not Jason Kelsey. So we swung and missed on him. Corey Bojorquez is brought in, though, so great. We got a punter. My goodness. Marcus, thanks for the prime. Any other offensive line options we can bring in? Not really. Not really. That might be a position we have to draft. Josh Allen. Yeah, we'll pick up his fifth-year option for sure. And that probably is going to be it, right? Yep. It's draft time. What do we got? Now, you've seen our picks likely already, and it's not as high as we want to be. We're picking at number 16 as well as 32 because we did win the Super Bowl. And if we were looking for a quarterback, well, Swarton's near the top of the board. So we're in a tough spot. We might have to move up if we want him at number 6 in the draft. We'll see how the top 5 goes. I'm not trading up right now for anybody. Dolphins at number 1 goes Stephon Terry out of Wake Forest, 72 overall defensive end. Washington football team takes a guard, D'Angelo Darby out of Florida. Sheldon Jeffries out of Vandy goes to the Cardinals. The Steelers do take the quarterback, Brandon Swardson at 4. He was never a player we were going to trade up into the top 5 to get. It was just never going to happen. It was just never going to happen. He would have had to fall a lot more. We were not going to move up inside the top 5. As we'll see what the Bucs do at number 5. Take Lynn Haskins. Manny Bass out of Georgia goes to the Chargers. Titans take Isaiah Berry out of Miami. George Thompson, a receiver, goes to the Panthers. Number 8. The Texans go Orlando Jones, one of the better cornerbacks off the board. 76 overall out of Tennessee. Video Game Bino. Appreciate the prime. And I'm telling you, my top target right now is probably going to be Evan Groves. And we might have to move up for him. See what the Bengals do at 11. There goes Bryce Thorpe. And we might try to make a move with the Falcons. The Falcons are a really solid team who should need a defensive end. So we want to make a move for this pick. From 16, I think. Unless we can trade 32. They need a free safety, left guard, help at outside linebacker. Would they want Quincy Williams? They would. They would have interest in that. He's a really solid backup for us, but I think this would make sense. Trading number 32 and Quincy Williams to move up to number 12. So, big trade in this video as we are looking to draft our potential superstar defensive lineman of the future. Evan Groves out of Penn State. He will step into that Solomon Thomas role if he's good enough. And we'll see. Number 7 in the draft, we took him at 12. Normal development. Pretty reminiscent of what we got with Chad Brown on draft day. But 88 power moves? Whew. Wow, that's going to be a rush defensive end for us. Maybe even can play rush defensive tackle at 6'3", 265. 88 power moves. 79 speed, 82 acceleration, 81 strength is quite high. 82 tackling. Wow, 88 power moves. I'm not sure I've ever seen power moves so high. Really interesting player. I think he's definitely going to compete with Solomon Thomas for playing time right away. Cameron Aldridge, a 78 overall receiver out of Bama, goes to the Cowboys. And we are 1 pick away. As Dylan McDaniels, a 78 overall defensive tackle, goes 1 pick before us. And he was someone I was definitely going to target with that pick. Certainly was. Ben Van Buren. Don't really want him. Don't want Ben Van Buren. Could go receiver, although I will not. Alfonso Peoples. The brother of Dennis Peoples? Interesting. It's certainly not a position we need. It's certainly not a position we need. Let's see what the chat has to say. Seems like the chat's kind of in on it, to be honest. It's certainly not something we need. He'd be a slot receiver, which is currently where we're playing Dennis Peoples. He's okay. I think I'd probably prefer Kevin McNeil if we were to take somebody in the slot. Faster, looks better overall. And besides, we don't need a receiver right now. Darryl Dawson would be a reach, but could be a really good player. David Anthony would be a reach, but also looks to be a very good player. And now another thing to consider. Oh, baller. Devon Ware skipped the combine. Another thing to consider is Miles Madison. While he would be a reach, that could be a really, really good pickup for us, despite not necessarily needing him. And I think the big thing to consider is how good Tyrone Hicks looks. 5'11", 205. We could sub him in a lot of different packages. Ran 4.42. Archetype is run support, so we know he's going to be able to tackle in the box. Really good player, but where does he play for us? I think we have a nickel corner in Quandre Sims that I'm actually quite pleased with. And I'm not really sure where he would jump in and play. I'm not sure where his fit would be. So I don't know that we can take him. I think we have to go with the team need and take interior offensive line. Knowing full well that it will be a reach, but it is a player we need on our team. How far down the board? It's kind of far down the board. What we could do is trade down from 16 and try to get a second round pick. This might take like a full group of picks to actually get what we want. But at 28 from the Bears, 43, we want something more like a team that got a pick from somewhere else. So like a late first and an early second if possible. That would be ideal. Like the Falcons. I know we just traded with them. We might trade for our actual pick back. How dumb would that be? But that's, I think it's almost likely at this point. Then we're just going to only trade with the Falcons. Ninja Insider Pride, thank you for the 5-month resub and tier 1 sub. I think we're actually going to trade with the Falcons and get our pick back. Brain dead that I'm doing this, but get that third round pick. So we're trading back, picking up a third in the process. So this is a very odd looking trade, but basically I'd be doing this for financial reasons. We'd be trading back to 32 and trading up from 64 to 44. It's an interesting trade, but see, that should go through in my opinion. Trade system frustrates me. I just don't really want to trade anything else. I could add a third round pick, but it's not going to make it go through, probably. I'm just not doing that. I'm not doing that. We're going to reach. We're just going to reach for a player we want. And it's going to have to be the center, I think. David Anthony seems to be just the best player available for me. How far down the board is he, though? He's so many picks away. I mean, am I scrolling past him? I gotta be. I'm looking for the star. I don't see him. Is he not on my watch list? Oh, he's not. He's not on my draft board. Hold on. Now I'll be able to see it very easily. He's probably right in that group. Yeah, he's right in the middle. He's 40 picks away. I don't want to do that. I don't want to take him at 16. But the way the trade system works, I would have to add in a player. What player can we really trade here? That would have any value. Chenault. Or D.D. Westbrook, and please the chat. I like D.D. Westbrook so much, though. He plays so well for us, but maybe it's time to eliminate the cap hit and get Laviska Shenault playing time now that Westbrook is regressing and Shenault is developing. I think that might be the right move. Westbrook's just such a good player for us, but might try to do something with Atlanta. Very interesting. Very interesting here. He's been a solid player for us, but what can we even do here? Like, what's the most amount of value we can really get? Second rounder next year? No. It just might have to be this straight up. Fourth rounder next year? I don't even know if this will go through straight up. It won't. D.D. Westbrook and number 16 for number 32 and 44. I could give something slightly more. It'd be a fourth round pick, though. And that's going to be the trade. D.D. Westbrook is headed to Atlanta. He was really good for us. Really solid player. But I think it was just time to move on and get Laviska Shenault some playing time. We used D.D. Westbrook to win a Super Bowl. And now we have shipped him out. But the future's now, old man. It's time for Laviska Shenault. And hopefully the players we want are still available at 32. But I think they should be. I think they should be. And they all are. David Anthony will be my first pick. Improving our interior of our offensive line should be a good pick in this range, and he is. And for the biggest reason alone being that we drafted an offensive lineman with star or better development. That's the big thing. 72 overall is not bad either. 6'4", 301, 87 strength. He's a very good blocker right off the bat. 79 speed. Hello, right guard. Hello, right guard. And I might consider Miles Madison as we get closer to number 12 here in the second round. Just because he'd be a really good player. There goes Kevin McNeil, 75 overall. Watch all three players I'm targeting here with number 12 go. Tyrone Hicks is a 78. Really solid player. Looks like we could have got him a lot of play time. Maybe even end up playing over Ronnie Harrison. But Ronnie Harrison's good. I just really don't think we needed him. As good as he is. And it is one thing to miss out on good players. There goes Miles Madison, one pick before us. But I think the biggest thing there was that we just didn't need him. We just didn't need him. And will I take a safety with this pick? I can't. He looks to be pretty good, actually. Jay Learn with the tier 1. Appreciate you. Devon Ware is a speed rusher. Looks kind of bad. I know he's a first-round guy. Skipped the combine, but doesn't look that good. I think we might go safety with this pick. And it's like, oh, if you're going to go safety, why would you not just take Tyrone or trade up and get him? We'd have to trade up. And I just wasn't prepared to do that. We're going to go Damian Carson here. He should be a really solid special teams player for the same reason that Tyrone, whatever his name, was good. Damian Carson should be good for the same reasons, I'm thinking. So let's take him. Damian Carson at 12. That's a dream pick. 71 overall, 23 years old, has star better development. It's ranked number 33. Is 89 speed to go with 71 hit power, 82 pursuit, 73 tackles, 71 zone, 73 play rec, 91 acceleration. He has 65 man coverage. It's a pretty good player. He should be good on special teams. And I would certainly rather play him than Daniel Thomas. As we'll simulate to round 2, pick 32. And we'll see some of these players' development traits that we missed out on, and it's going to sting. It's going to hurt to see. But the reality is we just can't get every player that looks good in the draft. Cecil Rudd looks pretty good. Power rushing defensive tackle. Do I have anything left on the draft board? We do. But that's not going to be this pick. We could go with a receiver, honestly, now that we don't have D.D. Westbrook anymore. Didn't really anticipate trading him. I think we might go defensive tackle. And I think I've maybe found one I like even more. Christopher Galloway. Nope, that's not who that is. A- power moves. He is slow as anything. But a lot of these guys are super slow. I think we're going to go Christopher Galloway. A- power moves up the middle. Could be a guy we rotate in. Number 39 in the class. Took him at 64. He's got 83 power moves to go with 69 speed. Obligatory. Nice here. He's got really high play rec. But 87 strength, 83 power moves, 73 block shed. We'll find a spot for him as we have back-to-back picks. And is this the spot for Johnny Bozeman? He seems slow, right? 4.57. But we could use a good fourth. And a jump ball receiver wouldn't be the worst thing to have. He is a 69 overall. Nice. Number 64. Took him at 65. 88 speed. 81 spectacular catch. 87 jumping. 80 short route running. He's a fade route specialist, and not going to throw him fades over Dennis Peoples. It just won't happen. It just won't happen. Last pick of the third round. It's going to be Brandon Albury all day. Power rusher out of Notre Dame. Looks like pretty good value for the spot. We are taking him 69 overall. Nice. He's got 75 power moves, 79 speed, or 75 power moves. I say 79. I meant 75. I maybe didn't even say 79. But okay. It's definitely a depthy draft class so far. We've gotten some good players. No one has been particularly exceptional, but we've gotten some good players, as this is our last pick of the draft. What do we have scouted here? Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. Backup running backs, maybe. Derek Starks. Let's take him. He is terrible. We knew nothing about him. It was a complete gamble. And it doesn't really matter. But now this is the painful thing, where I see L's spammed in the chat, because that's, I guess, what just happens. We're going to see some of the players we missed out on. Biggest one maybe being Brandon Swartzen. He is a 76 overall. Looks nothing like his picture, by the way. Star better development, 94 throw power, 84 deep. I just wasn't going to trade up to number 4 to get him. It just wasn't going to happen. It is so hard to trade inside the top 5. And he only has star. I can live with that. I can live with that. Now, the other big ones happened in the second round, where we saw Tyrone Hicks go at number 8. He, of course, is star better development. 91 speed, 86 hit power. He looks super good. He was one of the highest overall players in the entire class, if not the very highest. And his development trait is star. I can live with that. I can live with that. Now, a real interesting one is going to be Miles Madison, who we saw storylines about, and here he is. Star, better development. This is going to be at least superstar, in my opinion. One pick before us, a linebacker with 91 speed. Decent coverage. Decent power and finesse moves. He'd be a pretty high overall outside linebacker. Miles Madison's going to be very good. I think he's going to have superstar dev trait as well. It's only star. Interesting. Who had superstar in this class? Maybe a player on our team. Interesting. That's very interesting. But we are in the preseason now. Let's go ahead and take a look at our team after we spend Coach XP. What do we really want here? Tight end training boost, I think, makes the most sense. And let's look at the team for season number 3. Could be the hardest season yet. I'm sure it will be. So players are down as morale is not impacting their overall anymore. David Anthony is moving to right guard. I think it was very obvious. And he probably fits that position even better than center. With his speed, would be perfect on screens and runs where he pulls. Dennis Peoples down to an 88 overall, but still looking quite good. And of course, another thing is I kept getting comments being like, you can change their ability. No, I couldn't, because I recorded everything before the update. If you guys didn't follow me on Twitter or Instagram, you wouldn't know that, I guess, but I mentioned it a lot over there. But we've changed some abilities around, so I gave him double me, route technician, and grab and go. Be sure to tell me in the comments section if there are better superstar abilities I can choose and what they might be. But I chose these ones for now. They looked pretty good to me. Aaron Jones I kept with first one free, although I feel like Freight Train could be even better for him. He's also got Bulldozer and Jukebox. Gardner Minshew, I gave him Gambler. Now, Bazooka was something I considered, but we're not really going to be completing 30-plus yard in-air passes with him that often. So I gave him Gambler. He has increased throw speed when he enters the zone. He's also got Clutch, which makes him enter the zone more easily. I gave him Roaming Deadeye, but I don't know if I like that one that much. But I do scramble. I do roll out quite a bit, so maybe that'll work. And I gave him Quick Draw as well to get faster passing animations under pressure. Yeah, we'll check out Alfonso Peoples. For Miles Jack, I gave him Reinforcement. I think that seems pretty good. I also gave him Pick Artist and Lurker. I think those were quite good. Joe Schobert has Mid-Zone Knockout and Enforcer, which seemed to be really, really good. Josh Allen, I gave extra credit. I don't know really about that one. I also gave him Edge Threat, which I think is really, really good. And for CJ Henderson, was very happy to be able to move his abilities around. Gave him Mid-Zone Knockout and Short Route Knockout. And he has the deep speed to not get beat over the top. So I think it's going to be very tough to throw at CJ Henderson this year. And I also cannot give Miles Jack Avalanche. He needs to be 95 run stuff, and he doesn't have that yet. So where else are we? Oh, yeah. We don't even know what team took Alfonso Peoples. The presumed brother of Alfonso Peoples. Can't even speak there. And hopefully he's in the division, honestly. That'd be a lot of fun. Went to the Bears, though. As normal development. I mean, he's okay. He's okay. Maybe we'll see him. Do we play the Bears this year? That'd be fun. Even though he probably wouldn't even see the field. Do we play the Bears? We do not. But I think some names to look out for that could see a lot of playing time as rookies here, or a lot of new players. Laviska Shenault's going to get more involved now. I'm going to keep Peoples as receiver too and keep him in the slot though. But Shenault's going to get more play time. We don't really have a great fourth receiver, but rookie out of Mizzou, Johnny Bozeman, could get some opportunities. Of course, you got to look at the offensive guard rookie, David Anthony. And then defensively, Carson is going to be somebody that plays. He's going to be somebody that gets time, for sure. And will it be as a special teamer? Likely we'll see a lot of that. But on defense and dime packages, I'd like to get him worked in. Quandre Sims had such a great rookie year. I think he's got to stay in the nickel. But Carson is super tempting because when you compare him to Quandre Sims, it's not like his coverage is so much worse. It's just man coverage is worse. Any rookies on the defensive line? Eric Groves. He was our top pick. Evan Groves. Eric, whatever. Evan Groves. He's going to play left end. And he might play over Solomon Thomas already. He's got Yannick Ngakwe's 91. Seems like a lot of people want Alfonso Peoples. We could try to orchestrate a trade. It'd be unusual, but I guess Lynn Bowden Jr. did the same thing when the Raiders took him with a third-round pick and then traded him to the Dolphins. We could go for the storyline here. Alfonso Peoples, what can we get for you? Do we just swap Johnny Bozeman and Alfonso Peoples? No, never going to happen. I'm not sure a trade is likely here. I just don't think the pieces align. And I'm not really willing to give up more than, say, a third-round pick for him. This would be my absolute ceiling. It's not going to happen. Math is with the prime sub. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and check out the depth chart. So things have changed a little bit. I like Peoples at receiver too. Slot cornerback is still going to be Quandre Sims. But instead of Jared Wilson as a 2, it's going to be rookie out of Fresno State, Damian Carson. And then sub linebacker, we like that the way that is. But third, I'm just going to keep making it Damian Carson. It'll get time somehow. More likely as a backup safety. Slot receiver is going to be Dennis Peoples. He's elite in the slot. Got to play him there. The mismatches are too insane not to take advantage of. Backup safety is going to be Damian Carson all the way. Well, Jared Wilson's good, but I like Damian Carson a little bit better because of his potential. Probably has star development, which is better than what Jared Wilson has. And then our fourth corner is not going to be Josiah Scott. It's also going to be Damian Carson. He will find his way on the field. But I think that's going to do it here for this offseason episode for the actual offseason moves. Perhaps we'll hop into a play the moments and see how well this team's going to play. I want to try out teal pants with the white uniforms. We'll see how that looks. What do you guys think about the teal pants with the white uniforms? I wish we had teal helmets somehow. Oh, they actually do kind of look nice as hell. Cold War after this, if I could get players maybe. But I kind of like the teal pants. Ooh, this kind of looks nice. But it is preseason, and nothing has changed. We're still going to Dennis Peoples. And it basically just told me when to throw the ball to him, which was fun. Oh, Burrow scrambling all around. Finds Josh Allen. Jake Lutton's in. Man, we got some really big backups in here. And there's Bozeman, the rookie. Oh, he broke a tackle. Bozeman. What a play. Oh, what a shot for the rookie. First career catch. Maybe we target him again here. He's going to be our fourth receiver. And there he catches another one. Bozeman is better at receiver than tight end for us. Doesn't really offer a ton. I'm just going to have to take a shot here. And Greg Dortch, nice play. Bozeman doesn't offer me anything at tight end because we have Colin Johnson, and he's basically Colin Johnson. See if someone makes a play. Just get open. Bozeman, touchdown! Was only looking at that side of the field. The throw was in a weird spot, but it was in the best spot because Bozeman scored a TD. Greg Dortch. On what planet does Greg Dortch make that play? All right, Greg Dortch. Fighting for some time. He might get it. Oh, look at Starks go down to the 1. It's not single coverage. What a throw on the run. Look at Greg Dortch. But, like, that's an amazing throw. These are throws that Gardner Minshew doesn't make. What in the world? This is so odd. But I think that's going to do it for the off-season video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate the love on Jags franchise so far this year. This season should be very interesting. So stay tuned for that. And I will see y'all in the next one. Take it easy.
I hit it at the park, bend bones. See me high step to the end zone. My life like a game, Nintendo. Playing with the best, let them know. Get off the track, the train's coming through. Yeah. Promise you get in my way, then you best believe I'ma just run over you. Yeah, yeah. I'ma turn taking it back to the house. Defensive joke, I'm laughing so loud. Speedbird's good.